Ah, that was lame. Hold on one sec. We're gonna start it over. There we go. Ah, what's going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. It is a Wednesday. Excuse me. Let me take this thing out of my mouth. It is a Wednesday. All right, and we are doing our usual Wednesday stream. I got to be honest with you. I almost forgot we were supposed to stream today. I almost forgot. The reason being that I have been focused. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I'm training like a motherfucker or anything like that, but I do have a tournament coming up on Saturday. It's my first jiu-jitsu tournament in years, and I actually think I might have a chance at doing pretty well. So my most of my mental energy has been going towards just like being prepared for that jujitsu tournament. I'd like to be able to win if I could, obviously, but we'll see what happens. By the way, let me know if there's any issues with my mic or anything like that. Sometimes mic issues just pop up randomly, and I would appreciate it if everybody would like and share this to wherever they feel it is appropriate to share it. I would greatly appreciate that. Um, Man, it's crazy to think we're almost through with 2025. It feels like yesterday it was New Year's. I was in Baltimore, Maryland, and honestly, like I had a really good time in Baltimore. I have a really good time anywhere I go lately, other than Massachusetts, and I think that really just tells you how fucked up Massachusetts is, because there's just nothing to do around here, and it all sucks, and it's expensive, and it's just it feels like there's just a gray cloud constantly, you know. But yeah, like it's crazy how fast um it's crazy how fast 2025 went by. It's been a weird year for me so far. I mean, it's not even over yet. I won't say it's been a bad year. There's been some bad stuff that happened this year. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Most of it was in the early part of the year, and I kind of had to spend the year getting back on track and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to knock on wood there. Just don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I'm hoping that I can make the rest of the year good. I'm hoping you can make the rest of the year good. Hoping we can make 2026 good as well. But anyway, what is going on? Joe Rogers, Quirt, OP, Skippy Dippy. How we all doing tonight, gentlemen? Hope we're doing well. Um, but yeah, I would appreciate if you guys would share it. Share the stream around. I'm not asking you to be like annoying for me or anything like that, but the reason part of the reason why part of the reason why is because excuse me, jeez. Part of the reason why is because I'm not streaming to Twitter anymore. And Twitter sucks as a platform to stream on, but if there is one good thing about it, it's that you will get people who are just like scrolling by and they might see your shit for a second. And maybe they'll be like, oh, Scott's streaming tonight. Why don't I hop on YouTube or something like that? I've seen that happen once or twice. I'd switched over from I switched over from Twitter to Kick. I'm streaming on Kick now, and because of that, it's the sorry, I'm trying to pour a little bit of I have an electrolyte powder thing that I'm trying to. Anyway, um, but yeah, fuck, I just lost my train of thought on what I was on what I was saying. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Um, fuck, fuck, I legit just blanked. Me doing that joke just made me blank on what I was saying. Baby, what was I talking about? What was I talking about, huh? Pop quiz. What was I talking about? Yeah, I forget exactly what I was talking about. I know before that I was talking about how the year has gone quick, and I hope we can all hope we can make everything go well for us. But oh yeah, 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 yeah. I was talking about streaming on damn, Scott doing an impression of DSP. Was that Dark Side Phil, or was that Mundane Matt? I thought it was Mundane Matt who jerked it on stream once. It could have been either of them. Honestly, they both are the types of dudes that I would expect to do something like that. Um, but yeah, like I was talking about Twitter and Kick and stuff like that. Because of that, I feel like I have less um there's less opportunity for new people to see me right now. So I'm like, all right, well, how are we going to compensate for this, you know? Pretty good card on this weekend. Even the women fight is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot. I'm probably gonna stream for that. Then there's a chance I might not, and the reason why, right, is because Saturday is my birthday, and I have to spend the first half of the day at a jiu-jitsu tournament because not only am I competing, but also people from my gym are competing that I'm gonna have to coach. I'm the only black belt in my gym who gives enough of a shit to show up to something like that and coach people, I guess. So, because of that, I'm gonna have to go there, and there's gonna be like 7 or 8 other people, not even including me, that I'm gonna have to coach. I think I might have some help. There might be somebody else from my gym coming, but he's not a black belt, you know. Excuse me. But yeah, so like I have to spend like the first half of the day there. And then later on in the day, I want to watch that card for sure. But if later on in the day I end up like somewhere doing something, it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm just, whatever. But most likely I'm going to be streaming for that. Most likely, but we shall see. We shall see. Um Hold on one second. Getting back to somebody I was talking to on the twatter. Oh, there is some kind of bullshit afoot. Anyway, um, what was I gonna say? What's the weirdest thing that happened this year? I mean, I wouldn't say weird as in like, whoa, that's crazy. I'd just say weird as in like, oh damn, like life just kind of fell apart for me, you know? Like I got into a car crash early in the year. I was okay, I was unhurt, but I didn't have I have insurance. I just didn't inform my insurance because I didn't want my premium to go up. So I paid for the wreck out of pocket since I was the only one who had any damage to my vehicle. I kind of got off lucky there. So because of that, I was able to just pay out of pocket. It was like, I want to say like probably 1,500 total. But the person that I went to fix my car, they were just completely and totally unreliable. And because of that, it cost a lot more in like me having to rent a car for extra long and me having to buy parts and then return parts and all this shit. And then also my car got fucking towed. It was at my old place, and it sat there for so long in the parking lot that when the fucking pirates at the tow company, they came in, they saw it there for like a week or two, and they were like, all right, I'm taking it, you know? And the worst part is I paid for a parking pass too, but we never got the parking pass because at my old place, those guys are fucking idiots. They're complete fucking morons, you know. So even though I didn't do anything wrong, I still had to pay like 300 something dollars to get my fucking car out of the impound. And the dumbest thing too, right? And I've been thinking about this forever and ever, is that usually when your car gets towed, it's put in a place that you couldn't just hop in and drive it off. I really feel like I should have took a chance on just hopping in and driving the car off because it wasn't kept in a fenced in area. There wasn't even anything in front of it blocking it off. I could have just walked in, hopped in the driver's seat, and drove out without anyone knowing at all. They would have had no clue. There may have been like paperwork. They may have been like, "Huh, wait a second, that car, where is it? I don't see it." In that case, honestly, I'd probably try and gaslight. I shit you not, I'd probably try and gaslight. I'd be like, "What are you talking about? No, my car's been here forever." I don't know what I would have done, but like, I paid $300 just to hop in my car that was not fenced in or being kept from like being moved in any way, shape, or form. Um, I really feel like I should have just took it because like I'm not telling you to do this, but like I wonder how that would go down because like I read the law in Massachusetts, right? And the law in Massachusetts states that they can keep your car, not that you can't take your car back. And it's not even like there's statutes that say they get to hold your car for ransom. It's literally like the way it's worded is like you left your car somewhere and it's being held there for its own sake. Like it's just the way they word it is like there's nothing stating that you couldn't, in theory, walk in and hop in your car and drive. And how is that going to hold up in court? It's my property. It's my fucking property. Just because they're holding it doesn't mean that it's just it's been I've been puzzled by it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I am curious what would happen. You know, and I wish I could just rewind and like do it. The thing is, I couldn't have drove it for very long. I would have had to drive it off property far enough as to where I could like safely hang out. Not like what would they have done? You know, what are they gonna do? Like show up and try and fight me? It's tow truck guys. They're tweakers. You know, fucking it just really. Every time I think about it, I'm just like, man, I missed a golden opportunity. I missed a fucking golden opportunity. You know. But yeah, that was like the big thing. That was like the weird, annoying thing, you know, that I'm just like about, you know. Anyway, um, but yeah, talking about that UFC card this weekend. Yeah, it's Wei Lee versus Valentina, right? It almost sucks because like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like Wei Lee and Valentina Shevchenko are two people who are actually really fun to watch because you're seeing talent in them. They're two very talented fighters, but they're getting old. If they're not already old, Valentina Shevchenko could be like close to her 40s. I have no idea how old Wei Lee is, but um when I think about women's MMA, it's just like it started off here and then I feel like through people like Valentina and Amanda Nunes and other people like that, right? It started doing that. It started doing that. And now who's around? Like Nunes retired, Cyborg is boxing now, and even if she wasn't boxing, the UFC doesn't want to deal with her because she's got a little bit too much pride. She's got a little bit. She expects to be treated like a human being. So because of that, the UFC is like, nah, we don't want that. You know, um, you have Valentina. She's visibly getting older. You know, I think the last fight of hers that I watched, I was like really excited for it, and it kind of turned out to be like, not that great. You know, I just feel like it's like who is around in the women's divisions anymore. I couldn't name anybody if I'm being honest. It's just like, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh man, you know, it's not looking good for women's MMA. It's definitely it's just not, you know. And hey, I guess we'll see what the future holds. But until there's some actual good fighters, I guarantee you're not gonna because baby. I know Mackenzie Dern versus the other Brazilian chick was on like a week or two ago, right?
Yeah.
What's the last girl fight that you remember us watching before that? Could you name it?
It was it. Oh no. I remember the Valentina fight. That's the last one that I remember.
Yeah, and I don't even remember when that was. That was like,
The one here, months.
yeah, like it was not this year. I feel like maybe it was at our last place. Maybe it was even the place before our last place. I don't know. You know, a lot of the time I remember these fights because of where we watched them. You know, it's like Charles versus what's his face, Chandler. You know, I remember that was two apartments ago. 2 apartments ago.
We were here when Valentina fight, but it's been a
I
while.
don't. No, we definitely weren't. I would have remembered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the reason I ask that is because like I can't remember the last woman fight. I can't remember the last women's fight on a main card. I'm sure they've been on the undercard, you know, or the prelims and then the early prelims. I'm sure they've been all over those, but they're just not exciting or entertaining enough as to where Dana's like, yes, let's put them on the main card, you know. Even what's her face, Mackenzie Dern versus that other chick turned out to be kind of dog shit, you know. Um, and it's just like whatever, bro, you know. But yeah, like I don't think they can. By the way, Joe Rogers, I've been watching a lot of South Park lately, and I've been thinking like, I wonder what Denver's like. I've heard good shit about Denver. I'm, I'm almost thinking, baby, we should go to Denver, Colorado. Is what we should do.
Okay.
I believe they call it the Mountain West, according to my friend that was here last week. That's what he was calling it, you know. But what was I gonna say? Like I don't think the UFC will ever sunset. It won't ever sunset the women's divisions because I feel like there would be too much backlash. I feel like feminists would pretend to care about the UFC just like they did back when Ronda Rousey was you know, on top. You had a lot of women who like the idea of any kind of aggression was like icky to them, but since it was girl power type shit, they were like, yeah, Ronda Rousey, yeah, I bet she could beat up Floyd Mayweather, yeah, you know. I bet you know. I bet if you gave Floyd Mayweather like 6 months of wrestling training, you know, wrestling, jujitsu, judo, whatever, he could probably beat the fuck out of Ronda Rousey even in a judo match. I would be willing to bet that, and I don't think that's like I don't think I'm incorrect for that. You know, um, I've trained with women who were like world class. You know, there was a girl, and I mean it's not 1,000,000% fair either because I had like a large like I was bigger than this girl, but like it's just like when you take that ability to just like be stronger than the other person, even in a grappling match in Brazilian jiu-jitsu where people are like actually the smaller person tends to do better. It's like yeah, but if they know what they're doing, it doesn't matter. You know, it really does not matter. But um I'm not I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag about the time I beat up a woman. I don't want to brag about the time I beat up a small woman or anything, but you know, um, no, but like, I don't think the UFC would sunset the women's divisions because unlike the 125-pound weight division, you would quite literally have like a social backlash against that. They had the best to ever do it, arguably, but it's in what? Oh, you're looking at me like there was an issue.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, am I talking too loud? Oh fuck.
No, no.
Um, they took somebody who was arguably inarguably in the top five and arguably the best to ever do it in Demetrius Johnson, and they were like, yo, you're just too boring. We're gonna trade you to one championship. Maybe you go to Asia, and since a lot of them are smaller on average, maybe you'll get I don't know more pay per view buys over there or whatever. I don't know, but we're tired of this 125 shit. They never officially sunsetted the 125-pound weight division, as I understand it, but like you definitely don't see it like you used to, you know. And even when you used to see a lot more of it, it was never really you know like it wasn't pushed like that um but you probably won't ever see them officially be like yeah no we want less women's MMA, but they probably will start to like push it down card and they'll start to be like yeah we don't need women's fights on every card and you know I don't think it's a big deal to I don't think it's a big deal to not have this one. Rwanda Rousey says Deion Sandals, hell yeah. Hotel Rwanda Rousey. Um, I can't stand Michael Chandler. You know, if he worked a minimum wage job, he'd still be doing inspirational speeches. Yeah, dude. That that made my wife laugh. Yeah, some people are just fucking like that, dude. You know, it's like fucking it's one thing to try and pump somebody up. It's another thing to try and be talking like you're a champion and like, you know, you're there's something mystical and magical about you, you know? Fucking if you've been around people like that, like though it wouldn't surprise me to find that Michael Chandler could be like some kind of sociopath or something like that, or like, you know, he definitely has those dark triad type traits because he's a dirty fighter, like provably. You know, some of the things that he does, he's fish hooking dudes. He's grabbing fingers and gloves and stuff like that. Um, that's not allowed. Did he gouge? I don't think he got no. I don't think he gouged anybody's eyes. If he gouged somebody's eye, even if the ref didn't see it in the moment, he would have probably been kicked out of the UFC. But like the point being, he's a provably dirty fighter. And he is also he's pretty charismatic, right? He's definitely got some dark triad shit going on, you know. And that's one of the things with those dark triad motherfuckers is they think that like everybody wants to know their story. They think everybody's interested in them, you know. They think that they have the secret sauce, the word that everybody needs to hear in the moment, you know. It's like Kenny Powers. I haven't watched Eastbound and Now. Baby, I know you're not gonna like it, but we gotta watch Eastbound and Down. I know you're not gonna like it, but we got it. We got it. Maybe you'll like it more than South Park, but there was that one episode where like somebody died and they're about to like conclude a funeral or something like that, and Kenny walks out with a boom box and it's playing that song. I forget who the song is by, but he's like, "Don't bury him yet. I would love to add to the speeches." It's like that kind of guy. There's quite a bit of those kinds of guys around, and that's definitely Michael Chandler. That is 100% Michael Chandler. You know? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I've been living here for 4 years. It's great. Where'd you move from, if you don't mind me asking, Joe Rogers? You know, I'm looking for places to move to so I can get out of Massachusetts, and I'm kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie because some of the places I've been looking at, the rent has been increasing. And if not the rent, well, I think the rent has definitely been increasing, but it's still not as bad as New England. And plus, like I've said, the rent is varied. You'll have like three places on the same street that are renting out like an apartment or maybe it's a house or a townhouse or a condo or something like that. And one will be like 1,300 and it'll be a two bed, one bath. Another one will be like I almost said 2,000, 2,000, and it'll be like, you know, another like two bed one bath, and then another one will be like 1,700 and it's like one bed one bath, you know. And that is so that even that is so much better than New England because especially Massachusetts, like it doesn't matter what is wrong, it doesn't matter if there's like we this is the third place we've moved into that has had a roach infestation. Legit. And we know we didn't bring the roaches with us because it's different roaches every time. Fucking, it took us like 2-3 months to notice the roaches, and we were like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude?" Like, we're paying almost top dollar for this place that when we moved in, it had roaches. They didn't even have a fucking toilet seat. We didn't notice that there wasn't a toilet seat on one of the toilets until like it was our first night moving in or something like that because nobody tours a place and is like, I better check the toilets. Nobody does that, you know. So we had to buy a toilet seat, and you know what, I'm taking that fucking toilet seat when I move out of here. I don't care. I'm taking it with me. It's the principle. It's the principle of the situation. I bought that toilet seat. I'm taking it with me. All right. Fucking but like you're paying between like 23 and 2,700 for a two bed one bath here, no matter what, no matter fucking what. it, there was a place we looked at. It was like 700 square feet. They wanted 2,100 for it. Two bed, couldn't even stand up in the bed, in the bedrooms. Like literally, like it was one of those things where the roof, since it's sloped, it slopes down through it slopes down through the bedroom, and like you couldn't stand up in half of the bedroom, and it wasn't a big bedroom either, you know. Excuse me. It was just like, it's like, what the fuck is going on here, you know. So like, it sucks to see some of these places getting more expensive, but at the very least it's not like everywhere is getting expensive like that, you know. um but yeah, I am a little bit nervous. What's going on, big boss? Chatsworth, Georgia, small redneck town. Dude, I feel like even Georgia would be better than Massachusetts, you know. uh Scott, let's get deep tonight. No topics off the table. What do you want to talk about, Quirt? What do you want to talk about? Extra nutrition, though. Yep. Oh yeah. You see them, you go, and then you sweep them right into your eggs. You know. Uh, I'm paying 1650 for one bedroom, but it's really nice in a nice part of town. But some places can be 800 a month and not half bad. Exactly. Like it's. I've been talking to my wife about it, and it's like, it feels like living in New England. We've been playing on veteran this whole time, and like, I'm not saying we're gonna move somewhere else and it's gonna be like easy mode necessarily or anything like that, but I know that if we're not paying like almost 2,500 a month for a roach infested apartment that didn't have a toilet seat on one of the toilets, and there's wires, not live wires. I'm talking about like coax cable. Like there was coax fucking sticking out of the walls and shit like that. We still got coax sticking out of the walls. It's just not in the way, so we're like, whatever, we'll leave it, you know. But we had to cut out like coaxial cable from like different parts of the wall and shit like that, you know. Our closet door. We have those sliding closet doors. They're like coming off. I'm always afraid trying to open and close them. They're gonna fall straight off the wall. Like that's, you can't be doing that, man. You know, if I was paying 1,300 a month and that's what I was getting, I'd be like, whatever. I'm saving money. You know, but the fact that you pay more than 1,000 more than that in Massachusetts, and people act like you have fucking dicks for ears when you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. When you're talking to some fuckhead landlord, he's like, well, what? That's how he responds. It's like, nah, eat shit. Fucking eat shit. Dive off a fucking cliff, you asshole. You know, unheard of here. Denver's getting better every year. Hey, good for you, Joe. Good for you. I don't know. Maybe we should consider Denver, baby. At this point, you know. Um, New England prices are insane. I grew up there and can't move back because of how expensive it is. Good to see you on the stream again, Scott. Good to see you on the stream too, Mr. Tucker. Happy to have you here, my friend. Man, I just want to like, legit. I'm at a, and maybe this will change when I get in better shape. I don't know, but I have had a lot of adventure in my 20s. Not like dumb Bugman adventure where it's like, I went to the bar. Dude, there was one night in Boston. I went to the bar and we drank so much and my friend threw up and good times, man. No, like legit adventure. You know, I've told you guys a little bit about it, you know. Like right out of high school into MMA, and then getting into the activism shit, and then going from that to fish tank, and I'm just like, I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, I had my fun. I have the stories that I'm gonna tell my kids or my grandkids, maybe, I don't know. I feel like I accomplished something, and my maybe my name won't echo in the halls of history or anything like that, but I can at least point to something and be like, ah, I had an effect on a couple of different things actually, now that I think of it. Um, but like, hey, like I molded something in the world that was a lot bigger than just me and my group of friends or something like that. But like I'm at a point now where I'm just like, yo, I just want to go to work. I want to come home and I want to fucking hang out. I I don't want to do anything. I just want to chill. Training obviously. I've actually been training the last couple of weeks again for the first time, and it's exactly what I've been missing in my life. I need to get some actual fucking jujitsu in, not just teaching people anymore, but like having fun on the mat, like I need that so bad. But other than that, it's like I don't want to be going into Boston to face off with like commies anymore. I'm I miss it. I wish we could have 2017, 2018, 2019 back. I wish we could have those times back just a little bit, but I don't need that anymore. I don't want that anymore like that, you know. Um Fighting, like I got to be honest with you, fighting is a young man's game, and I'm not old, but it's a young man's game and a free man's game. And when you're married, you're no longer free. That's not like my fucking wife ruined my dreams thing. That's a I have something to lose now. So I don't know that I want to constantly be taking chances, like getting into a cage to fight somebody I don't have any issues with. I'm sure you guys get the point that I'm trying to make. It's like I've had enough adventure. Eh, Maybe someday something will come along and I'll be like, you know what, it's time to embark and it's time to take a chance again. Haha. But for now, I'm just like, yo, I want to be able to pay my rent, preferably pay a mortgage. I want to save money and I just want to just chill. I just want to fucking hang out and just relax is what I want. Um, Charlottesville incident these days, they'll just kill you. Yeah, I mean, not exactly. Like, don't get it twisted. The Charlie Kirk thing was a fringe case. You should 100%, when speaking to people who are uninitiated and when speaking to people on the left, you should 100% act like the Charlie Kirk situation was stock and trade for them. And truthfully, it is a lot more common that they would do something like that than we would do something like that, right? They love to hold on to examples that aren't even really true. Like for instance, I heard recently that Dylan Roof was actually like trans. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. But even if he wasn't, that was like almost 10 years ago and it was terrible and it shouldn't have happened, but it was 10 years ago and you still have people bringing up that name. Since then there's been tons and tons and tons of trans and also non-white shooters who have done awful things like that. They actually I guess they released the papers on Audrey Hale, the Nashville shooter, and there was a video that I don't think I shared it to my Twitter feed, but I shared it to a couple of different groups that I'm in on Twitter, and basically the reason why Audrey Hale did what she did was because she was that fucked up in the head with trans and uh race ideology that she was like, yo, I want to do this because I'm hoping black women will notice me and appreciate me. Is basically what it was. Is basically what it was. Um and that's insane. That is fucking bonkers. It's crazy. That is the type of shit that goes down. But like the point that I was trying to make is honestly like the chances of you actually being targeted like that is like slim to none. As long as you're not a school child, you're pretty safe from them. Um, so yeah, it is what it is. I didn't leave that life behind because I was like, oh man, I might get hurt. none of us left that life behind because we thought we would get hurt. We left the life behind because we saw that it was partially futile, but then in addition to that, we realized that we would be the only ones who would get arrested if Antifa attacked us. And we were like, okay, so that's kind of part of their plan, is to force these confrontations so that we get arrested and now we have a felony charge on us, like that type of shit. And that's part of the reason why we left that behind, is there were less and less people who needed protection, and more situations where people were just getting arrested, and their lives were being like ruined for at least a certain amount of time, if not indefinitely. Um, but yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh man, I had more to say. I had more to say about that. Um, I had more to say about that. Yeah, the bottom line is you should never let the left forget it, and you should never let normies forget it. But overall, like, you don't really have that much to worry about, if we're being honest here. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Um, have you know anyone in your personal life that went trans? Yeah, a couple actually. I'm not gonna talk about them too much. Actually, you know what? I will. Fucking, it was dudes from that lifestyle who they got into some kind of trouble because they were playing fast and loose, and they got bopped, and because they were so afraid when they got into trouble, they straight up were like, no, actually, I'm a trans leftist now, and now one of them goes by a girl's name. Um, Now one of them goes by a girl's name. The other one, I don't know that he goes by a girl's name, but he is like a non-binary whatever now. So yeah, I've known a couple, you know. And those two dudes, like, I don't hate them. One of them actually hit me up recently and was like, "Hey, I hope you're doing well." Um, I don't hate him or anything like that. I don't it just is what it is. We all moved on with our lives, and he decided that was the he decided that was the path that he had to go, you know. But I will say that he was or these guys, excuse me, they were the loudest and they were the edgiest. They were the ones who would like try and be poetic about resistance and stuff like that, you know. Like they were the ones who, like, when you would imply that, like, nah, I don't want to do something because I think it's like we could get in trouble, or like, there could be a doxing involved or something like that. They were the ones who were like, oh well, we're never gonna win if we're not willing to sacrifice. They were the ones who were like that, and sure enough, they made foolish decisions that didn't move the needle at all. And when they got visited by the cops, or when they got arrested, they were like, oh no, you know. Um, excuse me. I remember when the world. I remember when blah blah blah. I remember when the world was normal. 2010, 2011. Were the last good years before all this new bullshit came out. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny too, because I was always a little bit tapped into it. Like it's funny how people literally cannot understand timelines, and they cannot remember things that happened. Um I forget what her fucking, I think it might have been this bitch. No. Shoot. Man, what was her name? Fuck. Uh, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Like, do you remember this woman? This woman was like the first, like, red pill for a lot of guys, right? Because the thing about this culture war that we're in the middle of is that it didn't just start like 5 or 10 years ago. It started a long ass time ago, but it really came to the forefront in 2014 with Gamergate. Before that, you had that chick that I just showed you. There were some videos of her and some other examples of like men's rights movement stuff, and they get counter demonstrated by women who are like just wishing death upon them for nothing, just saying absolutely the worst kind of shit that you could say to somebody for nothing more than just wanting basic human rights. Like that was a lot of people's first foray into, oh shit, there's really people out there who believe in that shit I see on South Park. Oh, I thought that was a joke. I didn't think that was real. And it only got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse from there. And it's just crazy. I understand it's not like you're going to remember every little thing that happens over the course of 15 or so years, right? But you should at least be able to remember like a big thing that happened every year or two. You should be able to at least draw upon things that happened in the past to try and validate what you believe now. But there's so many people who simply cannot do that, and it's not even the memory hole. It's not like there's the powers that be or whoever just like purposefully trying to memory hold things. No, it's just that people literally, even the based and red pilled right wingers, ooh, even they are just fucking stupid with it, and they have the memories of goldfish, and because of that, they can't even argue coherently in favor of their worldview beyond the last 20 minutes, you know? Um, and it's just ridiculous, and that's why like when I interviewed, geez, when I debated that star chick, right? For one thing, I was not on my game because I'm not a debate guy in the first place, and even though that was a topic that I know a lot about, it had been a long time since I had talked about it in detail with anybody, right? But one of the things that she brought up, and one of the things that people love to bring up, that is just completely invalidated by having a memory that extends beyond a year or two ago, right? Is that there's people like Andrew Tate, therefore actually men are the bad ones because Andrew Tate says you need to become a Muslim and start a stable of hoes and stuff like that. And it's like, well, Andrew Tate, if you again have a memory that reaches back further than 2 minutes into the past, was the backlash of almost at that point a decade of women saying men are evil, men are bad, you are a piece of shit because you have a dick, especially if you're a straight white male, you are scum, you don't deserve to live other than to be paid for us, if not directly then indirectly via taxation and other illegal forms of taxation such as child support and stuff like that. It's just like how anyone in good faith could be like, oh no, Andrew Tate was formed in a vacuum and it was just because men hate women. It's like, no, you anyone who says that in good faith is only saying it because they're stupid, because they're dumb, because they're a fucking idiot, is really what it is. I saw the chat going, I feel like sort of quick a second ago. God should take care of this stuff eventually. I like to believe he's already taken care of it, Ryan Tucker. I like to believe he's already taken care of it. We're seeing a backlash. Part of that backlash is religious. And I'm hoping and praying that we will be able to do the rest of the work. It's like Joshua Graham said, we can't expect God to do all the work, can we? But yeah, like what it's really going to come down to is how far we can push it. And the thing is, I hope we don't push it too far. I hope we don't push it far to the point where I have to go to Brazil because I don't have a white wife. That's legitimately something that I am a little bit afraid of. I'm not going to lie to you guys. My wife's a citizen, right? She literally got her citizenship like a month ago at this point, maybe a little bit more. But like I am a little bit nervous about the idea of people who, mind you, a lot of these people are people who haven't even been in the game as long as I have. They haven't been paying attention. They didn't put their neck out like I did with the activist shit. But because I married a brown woman, it's like, oh well, fucking dude, you're married to a fucking Brazilian dude, and it's like, what does that have to do with anything? You fucking maroon. You fucking Moran. What does that have to do with anything? But there's really people out there who are that fucking gay and annoying about it, And it's like, dude, get out of my face. Get out of my face with that. But overall, I do hope that we're able to take it as far as it needs to go to create a healthy society again. And if we can't, well, then we got to try our best to do it as much as we can, to whatever extent we're able to get away with right now. My GF always talks about how she's so lucky she grew up when she did, excuse me, because they would have tried to psyop her into being a tranny because of her masculine traits such as liking guns and saying slurs. Yeah, I forget whose video I was watching, but I was watching a video by somebody who said that the school system is made to torture people, specifically white males, but people in general, right? And I definitely experienced that. I experienced that torture. I experienced that, no, you're wrong. Just because we say you're wrong, it doesn't matter that somebody was breaking the rules. You're the bad guy because we said so. I experienced that type of shit and so much other shit. So much other unclean shit. But I definitely graduated from high school just in time. Just in time. Because, like, a year later is when the Gamergate shit hit. And, like, practically at the same time as Gamergate, that's when the trans shit started hitting, and it would have been real bad. Would have been real bad. Back when feminists were enemy number one. They still are enemy number one a lot of the time, honestly. What's going on, Natalia? Life keeps getting better for me, making more money and shit. 2025, this has been my best year. Culture wars don't bother me. I just keep training and working. Good for you, Joe. And that's really how you win a culture war in the first place, is you just keep like doing your thing. Like obviously it's good to be politically informed, but you don't need to be holding signs and stuff like that, or like, being all over Facebook and like giving your hot takes. Giving hot takes for your grandma to see. You don't need to be doing that, when your existence and your success is that much of an affront to those people who want you dead, just existing and succeeding becomes a revolutionary act in that way. You're winning just by not losing, by not being a loser, and that's part of the reason why other movements in the past failed, is because they get infiltrated by people who steer the movement in a bad direction, and then in addition to that, the normies get steered away from anything political. It's harder and harder to steer the normies away from anything political because, well, they steered the normies towards politics in the first place about 10 years ago because they thought they could try and corral them into, being fucking vanguardist communists and stuff like that. They thought they were going to create a revolutionary vanguard of normies who were going to bring on the communist revolution. And that's what 2020 was with the Floyd race riots, the genocidal George Floyd race riots. That's what that was. That was their attempt at like seeing if they could topple everything and institute their own little thing. Fuck, where was I going with that? Oh yeah. It's harder to steer the normies away from anything political nowadays. So what they're gonna have to do, and what they did successfully for about 10 years now, a little bit under, is they have convinced a lot of normies that anything right wing is actually bad. They've been doing that for decades and decades, but specifically over the last 10 years, they have had to really ramp that up, you know? And that's where you get a lot of the shit that's gone on with like um literal fake hate shit and blowing certain things that happened out of proportion and ignoring other things that definitely should have been paid attention to and everything like that, you know? Excuse me, jeez. Um, but yeah, as long as we don't devolve into autistic fucks, we're good. We're all set. We're fine, you know? Um, what's going on, Joe Butt Slasher, by the way? I forget if I said hello to you earlier, you know? Um, Gay people aren't real. Frank was the name, says Joe. Um, man, I haven't seen Scott's stream on my algo in so long. Yeah, yeah. You know, like my my viewership has been steadily declining, and now honestly, I have a hard time even hitting 100 viewers, which is still a lot more than most people who stream get. Every now and again I look at my viewership and I'm like, oh man, dude, fucking it keeps going down. And then I see somebody, like some random dude, he's streaming on YouTube to like literally 2 viewers, and I'm like, oh. And like that's all he's gonna get the entire stream is 2 viewers. That's it, you know. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a couple of things. One of them is that I have not been putting effort into my streams. I legit forgot I was supposed to stream tonight. You know, I've been so focused on other things. But then in addition to that, I really do think the algo is probably fucking me up a little bit, you know. I've had issues with the algorithm in the past where it's like things are a little bit too cute, you know. There's no way it's a coincidence. I post a video about guns with an M4 the as the thumbnail, and all of a sudden I go from getting like 1,000 views per video, which is what I was working up to at that point. The last like 3 or 4 videos I had were like 1,000 views each, which was a lot for me. It was a real improvement for me. And then out of nowhere, bang, I'm down to like 200 views per video for like a month and a half, 2 months. That was like the craziest thing, you know? But yeah, Jesus is king, indeed. Indeed. Um, man. Papyrus says, I don't like black men who exploit women or any Muslims in general. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks that people can't just be cool, you know? Like it's such a teenager sort of like it's such a teenager sort of a opinion to have. Like, why can't everybody just be chill, man? But like, really, why can't they? You know? Like I've always had that kind of aura about me where it's like, yeah, whatever, it's no big deal. You know, as long as you're not actively trying to disrespect me or harm me, like I'll let you be you. Just let me be me. You know, and there's no reason we have to talk shit behind each other's backs. There's no reason we have to hate on each other. There's no reason we have to fight. But you know, a lot of people are just like that. There's a lot of broken people out there, you know, and it frustrates me because I'm the kind of guy where like I want to be able to tell somebody, hey, you're wrong, and they're like, oh, you know what, yeah, that's my ego, talking, you know, expecting that when I tell someone, actually, you're wrong about that, that's not cool, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what, you're right, Scott, yeah. But like it's not coming from like a bad place. I just like, you know, like if somebody tells me I'm wrong and I see it, I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right about that one, you know. Of course I'm never wrong though. I'm never wrong, right, baby? I'm never wrong, right, baby? I'm never wrong, right? Yeah, yeah, you heard her. I'm never wrong all the time. Exactly. No, but yeah, like I understand issues of competition. I understand issues of, hey, I need this and you're in the way. I understand issues of that, and I wouldn't begrudge someone for like competing for something, you know? And I don't mean like competing like jujitsu competition competing. I mean like, oh, there is one job and there's 2 people applying for the job and I'm one of them. I need to like really, really like go for it and I can't be like buddy buddy with this guy. I understand that totally. I would never fault anyone for that. But like the idea of like you're just hanging out and you feel like you need to go at somebody, like that's one thing I don't like about hanging out with people. That's why I'm not a big crowds kind of guy, because there's always that one broken person who feels a need to try and make everyone beneath them via like ridicule or something like that, or some other thing like that, And me, I'm just vibing, so I'll get caught off guard by that. Like someone will start hurling insults at me and I'll be like, oh, what, huh? What the fuck? you know? And it's just it's like, man, fucking A. It's stupid as shit. Fucking people just suck. People just suck ass. Um I'd love to be married in general. Marriage is pretty good, I'm coming up on 5 years of marriage. I was thinking about like I've been having a hard time doing videos. I've been meaning to work on a video about the activist shit for my Patreon, which I'm sure I probably only have like 2 patrons left, if any. Right? I'm sure there's plenty of people who have yeah, I have like 5 paid patrons, and I appreciate the fuck out of them, whoever it is, whoever my patrons are. Thank you for that. Not that any of you guys are here right now, and I totally understand if any of you happen to be watching, you withdraw your patronage because I'm not putting anything there right now. But I was supposed to do a patron exclusive series talking about activism stories, and I have been sitting on a story that I've had to do, not a story, but a video that I've had to do for like 2 or 3 months now, and I just have not gotten around to it. But one video I would like to do in addition to that is like lessons after 5 years of marriage, because 5 years of marriage is not that much, but it's just enough for you to kind of learn the ropes, to a certain level. And I feel like it would probably be good to have something like that, because I'll be honest with you. I've looked up videos about like being a good husband, like being a good wife, how to be married without being a shithead and stuff like that. And it's all baby boomers and baby Xers. I'm trying to find a term to describe Gen Xers that is boomer like, because Gen X is just baby boomer part 2, and Gen X is not derogatory enough. So I wanna find something to compare them to the boomers. But anyway, baby Xers, um I don't know, but anyway, Schumers, I don't know, but the bottom line is it's the kind of guy that you don't want to listen to, where like even if he's giving good advice, you're just like, this guy fucking sucks, get him out of my face. It's that kind of guy. It's a type of dude who like he bought his house in 1985, or like back in the early 90s he was like listening to Nirvana doing heroin, and now he's trying to tell you about how you're a fucking loser who needs to bootstrap your way to a house when you're working 2 jobs at the age of 21. At the age of 21, he was hanging out in an Alice in Chains concert, fucking huffing paint, putting spray paint in a bag and going fucking. That's how that guy was spending his early to mid 20s, maybe even his late 20s, if he was that much of a burnout. And now he's trying to tell you all about like, oh well, you see, we used to get those guys in the activist world. We'd show up to a rally. They would have a PA system, and they'd be playing music on it before the rally, and there would always be some asshole Gen X guy in one of those like military style caps with the tight shirt that has the American flag on it here on that. Grunt guys is what I feel like we used to call them. It was a Gen X grunt guy who's like, yeah, let's play some Rage Against the Machine. It's like, dude, we are here to confront communists, and you wanna blast Rage Against the Machine? You fucking idiot! You shut the fuck up. Just play the Dead Kennedys while you're at it. You know, fucking A. Anyway, Um, yeah, it's just like fucking a dude. But anyway, what I was saying is, I want to give like advice from the standpoint of a guy who is early on in his marriage about like, hey, this is like, I think I did good here. I definitely could have improved there. I think as a man I need to do this. I think women when they go into a marriage they need to do that. Like I'd love to be able to do that. Around 5 years of marriage. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty far behind on the chat right now. You know, there was some good chats that I didn't want to miss, so I'm behind on the chat. So I apologize. Framing abortions as bodily autonomy rights did some heavy damage to normally politics for sure. Oh yeah, 100%. You know, um, there's like one of the things you need to understand about politics, and when I say you I don't mean like you guys, I mean just in general, but one of the things you need to understand about politics is that it's not a game of, and this is how they want you to think of it, you know, and this is why democracy is so important to them when they get what they want. But when they don't get what they want, they, you know, they cry and they scream and they do whatever they can to undermine it. But when it comes to politics, it's not by the people for the people in the way that, you know, we have been sold. It's whoever has the power makes decisions, and the minority, or you know, maybe not the minority vote, but the everybody else who is not in that position of power kicks and screams, but eventually they accept it. You know, that's the kind of thing that happens. And you need to stop believing that you need the approval of your enemy in order to vanquish your enemy, because they don't care about your approval. In fact, they actually enjoy it when you're kicking and screaming. It's fun for them. It's like a rapist who gets a thrill out of when their victim fights. You know, they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's hot now." You know, that's literally how the left is. You know, they don't care about your opinion or your consent to be vanquished. They aren't going to listen to that. They like it. They enjoy it. They have a bloodlust to them. They are cruel. They are sick. And for you to be like trying to explain anything to a leftist, especially at this point, and especially when you have power, you're gonna do something, and then you're gonna be like, but when they start getting pissed about it, it's like, nah, 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 nah. You ignore it, and if you can't ignore it, you say fuck off, you're a terrorist, and then you clamp down on them. You know, that's just what you do. You know. Um, have you considered posting any video clips on Shitter? It might be a friendlier algo. You know, like I just have so little energy for anything on the computer lately, if I'm just being honest with you. Part of that is because I'm you know, like I said, I'm putting all my mental energy towards the tournament this Saturday, but even beyond that, like I've just kind of been hanging out. Like I've been watching more TV lately, and I've been doing less stuff on the computer. I haven't even been playing video games like that, honestly. Um if fucking I don't know. I don't know. But because of that, even though there's definitely video, like there's been a couple of streams where I've been like, "Oh, I need to clip this 10 to 15 minute segment, and I need to edit it down a little bit, and I need to throw it up on Twitter." Or like just YouTube as well and things like that. Like I've thought about doing that, but I just don't do it when it comes down to it. I haven't had as much energy to give to online stuff. I think it's probably a self-fulfilling cycle where I see my views going down, and because of that, I'm like, "Oh, dude, fuck, man." And I just am like, whatever. I won't even bother. You know, it's definitely at least partially a self-fulfilling cycle. It is what it is, you know. Like I at this point, I'm not saying I'm gone necessarily, but like it wouldn't surprise me if I'm not doing this next year. It wouldn't surprise me if I'm just like, whether I have like a farewell stream or if I just like quietly stop streaming. It wouldn't surprise me if I'm just like, whatever, you know. I just kind of fade further into obscurity than I already have. Um either way, I'm happy to have done what I've done. I'm happy to have met the people that I've met. It's crazy that I've gotten to speak to so many people that I watch on YouTube and stuff like that. I wouldn't say I've looked up to them, but like I've admired them from afar as somebody who's watched their stuff. That's really cool. Um, that guy who constantly tries to mog everyone in dumb Andrew Tate ways. Exactly, exactly. I hate that kind of guy. Um, that would be valuable. 5 years of marriage lessons learned. Yeah, yeah. I think it would be good too. I think it would be good too. Millennials are the echo of boomers. Some Gen X are boomer waffin though. Oh yeah, no, you are 100% correct, Ash Willify. We are we are I mean we're like the grandkids of the baby boomers, I mean millennials, a lot of millennials had boomer parents, a lot of millennials had boomer parents. Um, but like we are going specifically the late stage, the late term millennials. We are exactly like the boomers were, just morally bankrupt. At the very least, the boomers had like good music. Like some of the stuff the boomers made was actually like brilliant. It was very good. If there's one thing you can say about the boomers is that they were a very artistically rich generation. They made some good movies. They made some good music. Um, like early video games. The dawn of video games was boomers and some Gen Xers and stuff like that. You can give them credit where it's due and say that they did advance art in a certain sense, even though a lot of that art was just straight up degenerate. There was some good shit out there by some good people, and even the degenerate shit is like listenable. It's listenable, you know. Um, but millennials are worse artistically than boomers were, and they're just as greedy. They're just as me, mine. They're just as stupid to be like, actually, communism's good. They're just as dumb to do that, you know? So when it comes down to it, yeah, like I don't look at millennials and think we're the good guys. No, we're the bad guys too. We are definitely the bad guys too. Maybe not me personally, but like it's fucking forget about it. Um Minute behind, but sucks to hear. Streams have been good. Thank you, Skippy Dippy. Yeah, like I'd love to keep going. Peace out, big boss. Have a good one, man. Yeah, I'd love to keep going with it. I don't need to make like $1 million a year to stream and stuff like that. I do this because I like it. It's like I said, I forgot I was going to stream tonight. When I remembered, oh fuck, it's Wednesday, I'm supposed to stream today. If I really didn't feel like streaming, I just would not have. But I'm glad I'm here now. I'm glad I did. And I there was not a moment where I was like, actually, maybe I won't. No, I was like, oh shit, it's Wednesday. I got to stream tonight. Fuck. Okay, let's do it. Let's get ready to do it. Um, what was I gonna say? But like, it's a question of bandwidth plus am I just spinning my wheels? You know? Um and I don't want to necessarily spin my wheels. Like it is kind of tough. I say that like I don't care if I have one viewer I'll stream. Yeah, in theory I would, but it is, if I'm being honest with you, tough to know that at my height, if you will, I had 5 to like 700 viewers on each stream total. Like that was what I was getting per stream was like 5 to 700 viewers. That was for like a good like 3 to 6 month period. And then I went down a little bit, I was getting like 3 to 400 and then 2 to 300. And now I'm like, if I'm lucky, I get like 100 viewers or something like that. Um, it is, if I'm being honest with you, just a little bit tough. It's you know. It's a little tough, bottom line. Um, so there is a piece of me that's like, well, I enjoy doing it, so who gives a shit? But also, if I'm feeling disheartened by jumping on and seeing that my shit just keeps on going down, it's like, well, why would I put myself through that? Why wouldn't I focus my efforts somewhere else? Trying to improve my life somewhere else. Um, Millennials left a 15-year hole in music. Yeah, they really did. Excuse me. Can't play metal, just make 100 new genres and just say you don't get it. Exactly. They like rap was at least okay during the 90s and 2000s. It was like at least a little bit entertaining. Even like I always feel bad listening to rap, right? And it's for a couple of reasons, but perhaps the biggest reason is that when I hear somebody talking shit, I don't put myself in their shoes and think I'm the one talking shit. When I hear some black dude in my ear going, I fucked your bitch. I fucked your bitch. I killed you when I took your bitch. When I hear a black dude in my earbuds saying that, I don't think, haha, I'm the guy who fucked that guy's bitch, which is what a lot of people do with hip hop. Is they envision themselves as like the rapper, right? Um, it happens subconsciously a lot of the time, right? They don't realize they're doing it. But me personally, when I hear someone saying that, my first thought is, if I ever see that guy, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna kill him and I'm gonna fuck his bitch. Like that's what goes through my head, and I don't mean that literally. It's not like I'm listening to King Von thinking, nah, you ain't gonna kill me, Von. It's not that. It's just like there's something about it. I'm just like, this is not enjoyable for me. I don't like listening to the words "I fucked your bitch." That's not that. I don't. That's not something I really enjoy listening to. Right. But at the very least, it was good enough in the 90s and 2000s as to where it's like, all right, I can look past that. It's all good. But in the 2010s with mumble rap, SoundCloud rappers, or whatever you would call them, and then what has evolved now, which is like every fucking dude is doing his own thing, and there's no, it's not even rap anymore. It's just talking, like literally not even talking rhythmically, just it's talking to a beat, not even on rhythm. Literally, like the beat's going and you're just talking, 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 talking. It's like spoken word to a beat at this point. And the worst kind of spoken word you've ever heard. It's like that sucks. And millennials did that. That was millennials that did that. Even if zoomers are the ones that are coming up now and they're kind of doing their thing, it's like, well, they learned it from us, you know and that sucks. That fucking sucks, dude. That's awful, you know um when I listen to rap music, I literally believe I am a black guy. I believe you're a black guy too. Hi, Ecuador. I believe you're a black guy. I can self-insert because I'm a dork wicker too. Yeah, big Uncle Ruckus. Only rapper I listen to is Bones. I feel like I've heard of Bones, but I've never listened to him before. Um, it became screaming and growling and shit, breakdowns on guitars with too many strings. Yeah, yeah. Like I talked about this on Twitter a little while ago, but like part of the reason why rap took over is because it was the one coherent way to express anger, and not just anger about getting cucked. If you listen to a lot of different kinds of metal nowadays, it was always kind of performative, right? A lot of it was performative, talking about the most brutal thing that a 12-year-old could think of. Like if a 12-year-old was trying to write a horror movie or a horror book, and he was just like, and then the killer took the knife and stuck it into her eye, and then he started poking his hole in the eyeball. Oh, and then he pissed on her, like that. like there's a lot of metal that became that where it's like, all right, man, all right, dude. How's did you finish your homework? How's the eighth grade treating you? And then the flip side of that, or just the rest of the genre became dudes complaining about walking in on their girlfriend having sex with another dude. I shit you not, you know. There is there is so much metal out there that is just like she fucked somebody else. I was at work. I came home early. His dick was in her mouth. It's like that's the shit. Excuse me, jeez. Like that is what metal became, and people inherently know that that is fucking lame. You know, people know that that's lame and it's performative, and nobody takes that seriously. You know, so that's why there was like an increase in like hype beast wiggerdom in the Zoomers, even though rap is actually kind of, I don't know that it's on its way out, but from what I understand, it has actually faltered over the last month or so. Like for the first time, the top 40 didn't have, which top 40 is weird. I don't know why it's not top 50 or top 100, but the top 40 didn't have a rap song in it in like 2 decades or something like that, you know? Excuse me. Like rap has faltered, and it's because honestly the same kind of thing is happening to hip hop. It's a little bit different, but it's very similar where you have like sad boy motherfuckers. You have dudes that are just like, I pop pills. Oh man, I can't pay my bills cuz I pop pills. Oh man. like that's their thing. Um a lot of mainstream stuff is just turning into the kind of pop that women listen to. It's just it's fucking stupid as shit, you know. It's dumb as fuck. Um, sorry, just looking around. Scott, what are you talking about? Millennials made stomp clap music the greatest genre of all time. Yeah, oh yes, the best, the best. Um, Thoughts on ACDC, good or Gen X slop? I mean, ACDC was slop, but it's like good slop. It's like it's like the Chick-fil-A of fast food, right? Like you know Chick-fil-A is not good. It's not good for you. You shouldn't be eating it. It's slop. But uh compared to McDonald's, compared to a lot of other fast food chains out there, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, you know. I don't mind AC/DC. I wouldn't like throw them on or anything like that, you know. If there's one thing I like, one thing talking about performative metalheads, if there's one thing I can't stand about metalheads, and you're seeing the same thing from rap guys too now. Now that rap is old enough as to where you have unks in the genre now, you basically have dad rap now. There's dad rock and there's dad rap. That's how old rap is now. Tupac, Biggie, they're dad rap. Eminem is dad rap. But um, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's the people who like gatekeep over whether or not AC/DC is the best or like Led Zeppelin, you know? If you say like, oh yeah, AC/DC is good, but it's not the best, you have some fucking asshole, some of which were also millennials who are like, dude, what are you talking about, dude? What the fuck? Dude, shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about, dude. Like literally there was like I remember watching this is the dumbest example, but it's the first example that comes to mind whenever I think of this. Um when Chris Chan, the dude who did the Liquid Chris thing, he wrote a rap. He wrote a rap about Chris Chan, Solid Chris, you know. Um he wrote a rap about him, right? I think Chris Chan challenged Liquid Chris to like a rap battle or something or something like that. And Chris Chan, Liquid Chris's rap was actually like not bad at all. But like one of the things he talked about was like Chris was wearing an AC/DC shirt, and he was like, "You don't have a right to wear a t-shirt of a band so legendary." And it's like that is the most That is the most like millennial wannabe boomer gatekeep shit that you've ever it's you used to see and hear about that all the time. You know, is like, dude, what do you mean Led Zeppelin isn't that good? What do you mean you don't like Black Sabbath? Dude, Ozzy Osbourne, dude? You know? It's like holy fucking shit, man. Megadeth is my favorite metal band. I'm not a huge fan of Megadeth. You know, I like Peace Sells, but who's buying? But other than that, I really don't know that much about Megadeth. I gotta be honest with you. I know Mustaine was in Metallica at one point. Never cared for the vagina worship rock, but Angus Young could play the hell out of guitar. Guitar straight into an amp. Few can pull that off. Come to think of it, metalheads were gatekeeping metal, saying Nickelback will never make real music way back. Oh yeah, 100% Big Uncle Ruckus. Big Uncle Ruckus. Yeah, oh yeah, you know. And people still try to do that as well. There was this was a moment I realized Anthony Bourdain was a fucking asshole. God rest his soul. But like the dude was kind of like a fucking loser, like a pathetic loser. You know, again, not to speak ill of the dead like that, but like fucking I remember like Guy Fieri, right? Like yeah, he's a certain kind of guy. He wears the Hawaiian shirts or maybe they have like flames on them and stuff like that. Right? He's a certain kind of guy. I fucking get it. Okay? It's fine, whatever. But like he goes around the country highlighting mom and pop eateries where like typically the Food Network or the Travel Channel or whoever would never give any of these people the time of day. He would never they would never like give somebody like that the time of day. There's been like one or two other shows that do that, you know. But these are like salt of the earth, like good homegrown people. They were from the fucking ground and they started a restaurant and they're just trying to scrape by. And here's this dude, Guy Fieri, who's like, "Yo, let's highlight these people. Let's show them so that maybe I don't know when people are in town, they'll be like, oh, I saw that episode of Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. Let's go there." And then that person will get a little bit more money in their pocket, you know. My understanding too is that he would donate to like a bunch of different charities and do a bunch of different charitable acts and stuff like that. I mean, even Guy Fieri was not like some kind of celebrity chef. He won a Food Network competition, and that was his like star vehicle, you know. He was from the ground. He was salt of the earth, you know. And he's just trying to like spread the wealth in whatever way he can. And Anthony Bourdain is like shitting on him one day on a radio show, talking about how Guy Fieri is like excited to go see Nickelback, and he was like, "Oh, in fact, you know, let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it." You know that you're just like the way he says it, you're just gonna be like, "This guy fucking sucks, dude." Oh, interesting. There was a couple of there was a couple of videos that I wanted to watch. I just found another one, but Anthony Bourdain dissing Guy Fieri. I would assume it's somewhere around here. Is it this one? 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 I think it might be this one. I think it might be this one. I don't know for sure though. I don't know for sure. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, it's only like a minute and a half.
The Guy Fieri Terror Dome they just opened up. Terror Dome, 600 seats, something like that. Right?
He was in here recently. He's panicking about the amount of seats.
I mean, and a gift shop. And all of these poor diners, drives, and whatever douchebags waddle in there. You know, first of all, he single-handedly turned.
Yeah, all these people who don't make as much money as me, so therefore they're fucking assholes. Yeah,
in the neighborhood of the Ed Hardy district, which I'm a little pissed off about, right? But all of these poor bastards, they see them eating cheap food on TV. They go in there, it's like, what, $18 for a fucking hamburger? You know, the French fries are like 12.
That rent is
By the time you have a drink, you're out of there for like...
Well, you got to know your clientele.
Yeah.
They can afford that,
Well,
right?
the guy will explain it. You know, hey, it's because we got to pay for the rock and roll. Woo! Gotcha.
I'll tell you, that guy is set back spelling, you know, like two decades.
Holy shit.
I don't think he's a fan
All
of Guy
these
Fieri.
kids trying to spell cool, you know, with a K. Have you read, have you following Dad Boner?
I like how you said, have you read, and then looked around the room and said, all right, have you followed?
Have you seen the movie?
The Twitter account, Dad Boner?
No, what's that one about?
He's been working on a screenplay. It's Roadhouse 2 starring Guy Fieri as the cooler. It is a work of timeless genius.
Really?
Wow, that sounds hilarious.
At Dad Boner.
At Dad Boner. I got to check that out.
Dad Boner.
That's fucking rock and roll, though, man. You want a burger? Throw some Jack in there.
Hey. Oh, shit. Look out.
Like, this was part of it, right? I specifically remember him talking about Nickelback, right? And I wanna see if I can. But like, you see what I'm talking about with this guy, right? He's just like he's just. It's just he fucking sucks, man. This dude sucked, you know. But anyway, yeah, like great example now that I think of it, of like the Gen X, like baby boomer kind of guy who like being cool is like the most important thing that you could ever be. And cool is not like when they say cool, they mean something very specific about that too. It's not like they're not like it's not cool the way we think of it. What it really means is trendy within a certain era of history, you know? And it's just like, man, fucking A. Anyway, I just want to make a show called Shitholes and go into bad restaurants and bars drunk out of my mind and just act like it's a great place to eat. That's actually I kind of like that idea, High Ecuador. God doesn't rest the souls of people who commit suicide. Well, we can pray that God does. We can pray that God extends a graceful mercy, you know. That's what we're supposed to do, anyway. Rust in peace. But yeah, like Nickelback, yeah, they're not very good. I'm not a big fan of them, but they do have a couple of really good songs, if we're being honest here, you know. I think it's called like Someday Somehow. I actually really like that song. Dude, I can't even remember the names of their songs and stuff like that. But there's actually a couple of pretty good songs by Nickelback, right? And you don't gotta love the fuck out of them. But again, it's that whole gatekeeping where it's like you can't just do your own thing. You can't be your own person. You can't enjoy something that you want to enjoy. It's gotta be like it's gotta be cool by the standards of some fucking asshole, you know? Asshole-ish cool, yeah. Ash will fly. Yo, look up Dad Boner. What the I can't believe I'm gonna do it, but fuck it. I don't know, what do we got? Which one do I click? Oh. Mike Burns reads at Dad Boner's Guy Fieri menu. Is that what this is supposed to be? Or was I supposed to look at it on Twitter? Anyway, there's a couple of videos I wanted to take a look at, right? I know I'm kind of like just like, okay, we were talking about that, now we're talking about this, but this popped up. This has 7 views on it. This has 7 views. It was uploaded like 2 or 3 hours ago. the algorithm is just sending me some weird shit. It's what to do when a knife is pointed at you. All right. And I have not watched this. I have no clue what's about to happen. We're going to take a look and we're going to judge it. Now, judging by the type of gi they have on and the type of belt and the fact that there's a Korean flag right there, South Korean flag, of course, I would assume this is a I just realized what the fuck is going on here. I'm gonna assume this is a Taekwondo or maybe even a Tang Soo Do place. I would assume it's Taekwondo, but yeah. So we're gonna see what happens. One thing I want to call out right away. I made this mistake. All right. I'm not a vid pro guy. Okay. It's a Twitter account. I'll check that out after this. Hi, Ecuador. I'm not like a video production guy, but if there's one thing I learned when I took the video production class I took in high school, it's that if there is a mirror in the background, you turn around and you film the other way. That way, the guy who is filming your stuff cannot be seen. All right? There is a line. You keep that 180 degrees. You don't go beyond that 180 degrees. And if there's anything that allows people to see the fourth wall, because this is basically the fourth wall, this guy right here, you don't let that happen. Excuse me. But anyway, let's go ahead.
Okay, so this is what do you do when a knife is put to you? So if you have this hand on me here, this will be one example. Let's say he wants to lunge in here. So yeah, I could block it here. Go and do it again. So I could block it here. But at the same time, I want to strike over the top of his arm. Go here and then here and break out. And so one more time. So at the same time, so he's going to come in, go, and here at the same time, strike. Again, go here and then break out and get out. Simple. All right. The next one. Oh, he's got his hand here. He's got it to my neck. All right. So from here I could go this direction, but he could pull and it could cut me on the way out. So I want to trap it here, but at the same time trap his arm. Now you're saying, what about that arm? So at the same time when I do this, from here trap and drive the head in at the same time, and then I can lift the knee up right there. So one more time. So don't do it slowly. So here I trap the arm and drive the head in and drive the knee in. Okay, another alternative. All right, so now here, he's got it to my neck. Well, the best thing is to get out of the way because he could lunge forward and drive it straight in. So I want to step out of the way. Now, the blade, I could cut his own arm with this blade here by stepping out of the way here. Now I have a couple options. So once I'm out of the way here, I could flick this into his face like that and get away. Or maybe I could go here and here, and he falls right into the knife himself. So one more time. So right here and there. And I could also take him down. So take here, here, and then I could take him down here. Take the knife away there. All right. Okay, so today's message. Pay attention to who brings the best version out on you. I'm Master Chip. Please like and subscribe. Support our channel. Thank you.
Okay, so.
Okay.
There's a reason why I don't do tons of these anymore, right? Not that I did a ton of them in the first place, but, you know, as a martial arts channel, I tend to watch stuff like this, and I will talk about it every now and again. The reason why I don't do tons of these all the time is because they have been done to death, and even though there are people who are still teaching stuff like this, we're at a point where it's like, how many times can I say the same thing over and over again, right? And the first thing I'm going to point out is that this dude right here just kind of stood there. Now, it's real easy to call something like that out, but I want to explain why that simply would not work. It's got not even necessarily anything to do with whether or not somebody would pull away or anything like that, or if they would or would not allow you to do something, but it's just the fact that when somebody is being completely compliant, let me come back to here, right? When somebody is being totally compliant, when they're allowing you to do the move, of course they're going to move like that. Nobody moves like this guy does unless they're allowing somebody to move them like that. What's going to happen is I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to be holding the knife at you, you're going to grab, and even if I don't pull away, I'm going to tense up, and I'm not going to be moved, right? So you're not going to be able to hit this whole thing. Even if you feel like you were going to surprise me, you could surprise me. You could maybe get me to here, but I'm going to start tensing up, and I'm going to start trying to resist in some way, shape, or form, you know? So that right there is one of the reasons why this is mostly bad. Now, I am actually going to tell you when I do think he has a halfway decent idea. But I will spoil it for you right now and say that you don't want to do any of these in and of itself in its entirety. For one thing, right? You want to make sure that if somebody pulls a knife on you, you get the hell out of there as quick as you can. You don't want to fight somebody with a knife. You absolutely positively want to make sure you do not do that. Okay, I like this gold medal right here, right? This gold medal right here, I got that a few weeks ago. I got it from a dagger fighting tournament. There was one guy in my division, right? So basically, I just won the dagger fight. Now, we weren't using real daggers, obviously. We weren't even using these daggers. We had something else that was a little bit softer to stand in. That was the first time I had ever been in a situation where somebody had something that they were trying to stab me with, you know? And don't get me wrong, I did very well. Some of the stuff that I did actually worked pretty damn well, but it didn't work enough, you know? So it's just, a knife fight is way too unpredictable. And I know that this guy right here is basically the situation that this dude is giving. This guy is trying to mug or otherwise threaten or menace with the knife. So it's not like you're engaged in a legit knife fight right away, but it is incredibly difficult to get a hold of somebody in a way that you're actually going to be able to manipulate them, right? Now this right here, okay, so nobody's going to swing like this, right? Nobody's going to swing like this. Even the guy that I was knife fighting with, there was no this. It was all straight on, right? That's where it was coming from. I couldn't do anything like what this dude just did right there, right? This whole stop right there. I'm not saying it's never ever under any circumstance going to work. I'm just saying that the odds of him actually swinging like this is very low. And I guess getting an arm in the mix is better than not doing anything at all. But at the same time, it's just not... The way this guy's showing it, it's almost like he's trying to say, hey, it's okay. You stop him, and then you hit him. And then at some point, right, he ends up knocking that thing down. Yep, just like that. If somebody's holding on to your clothing, you're not going to be able to break that grip just by going, yeah, that's not going to work. That's part of what jiu-jitsu is in the gi. And if you do gi jiu-jitsu, you know how tough it is to actually break somebody's grip. You have to do it in a very specific and deliberate way. A lot of the time, if not all the time, you have to use both hands on him to break that grip, right? There's some configuration that you have to use that requires both of your hands. So you're going to have to take this away from there, which this is where the real danger is, to try and break this grip with both your hands. That's not a good idea. I don't think hitting someone is a bad idea, but the idea that you're going to stop the one blow and you're going to hit them once and then you're going to break the grip. No. What you should absolutely positively be focused on in any situation where there's a knife involved, you need to be focused on trying to gain control of the arm that has the knife, and specifically the hand and the wrist. Because it's one thing if you're grabbing his forearm and his bicep or something like that, you might be able to control the arm. But if he can hand the knife off to this arm, all of a sudden he's not in good shape anymore, you know? This dude is not safe anymore. So right away, right, we have something that's going to come into play for basically all of these, and it's coming in right in the first one, which should tell you everything you need to know about this whole situation. Let's go ahead and find that second one. Yes, so we have right here. So again, we have what is sometimes referred to as a sewing machine type attack. Now, this is actually interesting what he's showing here, right? So I actually don't think this is bad in theory. However, the way that he's trying to hold the knife right now, I would not put a lot of stock into it, or the knife hand. He is doing what I said. He's trying to make sure he has control of that knife hand, which is a good thing, right? But truthfully, I think instead of trying to hold a wrist lock, which is going to be pretty easy to get out of, especially when this dude starts punching, which I guess he gave some kind of an answer for that. I think he needs a little bit more control over the arm itself. Okay, now this is similar to what we call a Russian tie. It's not exactly like the Russian tie we use in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but it's similar enough, and he has control over the knife arm. So if he could just get more control over the arm, he could maybe go for some kind of takedown, or maybe he could work on trying to wrestle the knife away or something like that. You know, this is probably the best one that I've seen out of all of the ones that we watched so far. Right. So yeah, headbutt, not a bad idea. Knee to the groin, not a bad idea. I just doubt that he's going to be able to keep as much like this is not a lot of control. When somebody is, especially if he takes this and he pushes on the head, for one thing, that headbutt is not going to work because, you know, you're not going to be able to headbutt through the guy's hand. But then in addition to that, it's going to be really, really hard for him to keep this arm. The Russian tie is a good idea, but it's going to be really, really difficult with the amount of leverage and the amount of power that this guy is able to get off of just pushing with this arm and pulling this arm out. You would be very, very surprised. So that was the second one, I believe. This is one of the more sus ones, if I remember correctly. So he's kind of showing a bunch of different options, right? I'll let it run and then I'll break it down just so you guys get a better idea, you know. So, like I said originally, it's easy to do something like that when somebody is nice and loose and they're like Gumby, you know, they're just flowing with you. That's one thing, all right? But it is something completely and totally different when there is actual adrenaline going on. Now, I am actually a fan of this right here. Maybe not the whole like trying to whack him in the face thing. I guess if you can do that, do it. But I gotta be honest with you. I did kind of like the whole bang push into the arm. That's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And it's like, well, if it's there, you might as well take it. Somebody said, Big Uncle Ruckus said it's all situational, and yes, it is, you know. And if the situation allows you to get away with slicing the dude in the arm, you might as well, you know. But you absolutely positively need to get and maintain control of the arm. And right here, he doesn't have control of the arm. He has control of the wrist, but really only because this dude is allowing him to have it. And the whole whack him in the head thing, which I just missed, the whole whack him in the head thing, right? That we're about to see now. That's not control of the arm. This is not control of the arm. You need the whole arm to be yours. You need it is yours. He cannot have it back. You're taking it home with you. That is what you need. Sitting there in front of him, standing, trying to whack him with the knife. It's almost like it's almost like when you you're messing around with your brother or your sister and you grab their hands and you're like, stop hitting yourself, haha. You used to do that when you were a kid, and your brother or your sister catches on. So whenever they see you going for their wrists, they tense up like that, and because of that, you can't hit them, right? Like that is, at the very least, that is what would happen here. He's trying to do the stop hitting yourself, and this is the younger brother who caught on and is like, oh, okay, I know, haha, I ain't letting him do that again. So there, looks really cool, and I guess if you had the opportunity, you could, but you're not going to have the opportunity here. That's not the way it's going to work. Maybe if you had control of the arm and you were able to wrestle the hand with the knife into his throat, you might be able to get away with that, but you're not going to do that. And then that takedown, I mean, stranger things have happened, I guess, but it's a lot to try, and it's a lot to try, and it's a lot to depend on, and you don't want to do that, you know? Like, no hate to these guys. I'm sure they're nice guys. I'm sure they're doing good things for the kids that go to their classes and stuff like that, you know? And I'm sure they're just trying their best to help whoever they can. I don't think this is coming from a place of I don't think it's coming from a bad place or anything like that, but I definitely think that they need to be careful teaching that type of stuff. Now, here's the thing about these traditional martial arts, right? I don't have a problem with tradition for tradition's sake. I don't have a problem with honoring the ancestors or honoring the ones who gave you the taekwondo or the whatever. I don't mind the idea of trying your best to just do you know, what was handed down to you, because that's what tradition is. I don't have an issue with that, but you need to understand that that may not be the best way to do whatever you're trying to do, and you need to have that disclaimer of like, hey, this is how we were taught to do it. Would I do that in a fight? I don't know, probably not, but I mean, this is the way we were taught to do it, and it's good exercise, and it's also part of taekwondo. It's part of taekwondo or karate or whatever we're doing. It's part of it, so we're doing it. You need to have that disclaimer, you know, because this stuff will get you hurt. You will get hurt trying to do this stuff, you know. Don Jr. side quest. That does kind of look like Donald Trump Jr. just a little bit, does or nah, it looks like somebody else. Looks like somebody else, I feel like. Thing is, if you have a 6-inch combat knife and John Jones is trying to rob you, do you think you could get him with the knife before he gouges your eyes out? You see, what I would do is I would hold the knife up here with the blade facing out. That way, when he tries to gouge, he cuts his finger. Is what I would do. I'd get 2 knives and I'd just be like, "What you gonna do now, Johnny? No coke money for you." The student blue already pisses me off. Him having a beard that looks like he used his back fur to glue. Oh, his back fur to glue on his fucked up face. I don't want to shit on the guy like that, you know. Yo, the dude's got 10 views on his video released 3 hours ago. He's got a little over 1,000 subscribers. I don't want to shit on him too hard or anything like that. You know, he's just some dude. Like I said, he probably thinks he's doing like good. You know, so I don't want to be like fucking with him or anything like that. All right, I'm curious about this one. Jogo do pau. Pau means stick, but it's also used as a slang for penis. So that's interesting, baby. Oh, she's not awake. This is Portuguese. My wife is Brazilian, right? But apparently it's Portuguese stick fighting, which is pretty cool. We're gonna take a look at it. Oh geez, I gotta mute that because I'll get into trouble. the handshake. Yo, hold up. We gotta go back. that fucking handshake, dude. That was crazy. I don't think these guys are really trying to hit each other, but they are kind of going at it with the, with the intensity that they're doing the showcase, I will say. I mean, and that's the handshake again. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, like, they're just kind of swinging sticks at each other, which, like, yeah, that'll 100% hurt somebody bad, you know. Um, the intensity that they practice at though is like bonkers, you know. That's like they're just practicing, and it doesn't look that scripted. It doesn't look like it's choreographed 100%, you know. I think these guys probably are just like, maybe one guy is like, hey, I'll take the aggressor role and you take the defender role. Either that, or it's just that simple of an art. Or maybe this is just an exercise where, like, they're practicing a certain kind of strike. Maybe that's what's going. Damn, old man is pretty happy there. But yeah, I mean, all I know is I wouldn't want to get hit with one of those fucking sticks right now. They're not taking it easy, and it doesn't look that choreographed, you know? Like, they're obviously kind of feeding each other and stuff like that, but you can see there's moments where they're like missing, you know? They're like missing the like right now they're being very careful to feed each other, right? But then, like, there's moments where you see that, like, a dude is trying to swing and he just straight up misses, you know? And it's like, oof. See, it's not very robust. You know, it's not a very robust style. There's a lot of just like the same repetitive motions. But the thing you need to realize about any kind of weapons fighting, the thing you need to realize about any kind of weapons fight, dude, what the YouTube is like unusable at this point. What the hell is that? Anyway, the thing you need to recognize about weapons fighting is that if it can be countered by some guy who just runs towards you with reckless abandon, swinging or stabbing or whatever, if it can be countered by someone who's doing that kind of shit, whatever you're doing is wrong. And that's just the truth with a lot of different martial arts like Silat. Um, Sam was memeing about Penchak Silat. He was calling it Penkak. That's one of those ones. They do like knife fighting and stuff like that. They have like the karambit and stuff like that. Like Silat, Kali, Arnis, a lot of these Filipino styles, a lot of these other styles that you see, they're just not that good, for the simple fact that while someone's doing this kind of motion, right? While someone's doing that shit, right? The other guy is like, all right, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna just go in there and stab the fuck out of this guy. You know? The fact is, when you pick up a weapon that is a force multiplier, and it doesn't take that much training to be good with, you know. People shoot each other to death all the time and they have no clue what they're doing with a gun. People stab each other to death with the worst knives that could be used for cutting or stabbing anything, you know. It happens, and they have no training at all. They just are like, whatever. They're just in a rage and they start fucking stabbing and they hit something and the person they were stabbing died. You know? It's just, I could see Jimmy doing this stick fighting well. Dude, I forget if I sent something to Jimmy or not. I saw something on YouTube the other day that I sent to Jimmy that I'm gonna see if I can I thought I sent it to Jimmy anyway. Did I send it to him? I hope I sent it to him. I hope I sent it to the guy. To that boy. Ah, man, maybe I didn't. Damn, maybe I didn't go through with it. But I saw a dude. He was a HEMA guy, and actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, like just to reiterate, like the problem with weapons-based martial arts is that when it comes down to it, it doesn't take that much skill to be good at beating someone to death with a stick or stabbing them to death with a knife or anything like that. So if your martial art is not good enough to handle some dude who doesn't know what he's doing, but he's got a lot of spunk, he's got a lot of gusto, he's got that hate in his heart, and he's willing to angrily just try and beat the hell out of you. If you can't deal with that guy, your art is wrong and you should not bother doing it as like a legitimate form of self-defense or anything like that, you know? There's plenty of stuff out there that's actually pretty good. You'd be surprised at how much Chinese weapons stuff is actually pretty good, right? You'd be pretty surprised at how much of it is actually not bad, right? But again, it's almost hard to be bad when your main focus is just like, how am I going to take this spear and stick it in someone, you know, or how am I going to put this stick upside someone's head? It's almost really hard to be bad at that because of how easy it is to do, right? But you have a lot of martial arts out there where like half of it is like, all right, stab, and then you do that after. There's a lot of weapons martial arts that are like that, and a lot of them are like of the Filipino variety, you know? That's just kind of the way it is. But there's more than just Filipino martial arts that are like not that good when it comes to their weapons stuff, you know? Regardless of what you want to say about like the Dark Marcata, like flow drills and stuff like that, even if those are useful, they're only useful to a point, and I don't even think that they're really that useful myself, if I'm being honest. But anyway, I'm hoping. Ah, yes. Oh wait, no. Damn. I was hoping. I don't know. Maybe I can find it in my history, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh fuck. Maybe it was on Facebook. Damn. It's like kind of stupid that I'm looking this hard for something like that, you know, because it's not like a huge thing. I just thought it was funny. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to find it. You know, but yeah, there was a short that I saw by some guy who you know, he's like a HEMA nerd, and he was telling you how not to use a greatsword. And the very last example that he gave, he tied a rope to the greatsword and he was swinging it around like that, just like how Jimmy was during Blood Games. Fake book. God, Joe Rogers. I could see Jimmy doing this stick fighting well. Yeah, I bet he could. When your wife wakes up, ask her if she can teach you this. I will. She'll be mad because I assume she knows Portuguese shit. Excuse me. I've been doing kickboxing and boxing and sanda for years now. If someone pulled out a knife, I'd run as fast as I can. Oh yeah, you know, there's no sense in it. There's no sense in sticking around. You know, you got one life. You got one life, and even if you believe in a higher power and an afterlife, or even like a reincarnation or something like that, you never get to live this life again. You know, and I don't see a reason to end it early over something pointless. You know. So like I said, like I did pretty good in that knife fight that I got into. It wasn't a real knife fight, but it, you know, simulated. I even hit like a couple of pretty cool moves. Like there was a time the guy tried to thrust, right? And I cleared the knife and I got him right after. I got it on video, but I kind of don't want to show you guys because if I'm being honest with you, I'm actually pretty ashamed of how fat I am. I'm pretty ashamed of how fat I am, and I looked pretty bad in that video. So I really don't want to show it to you if I'm being honest with you. But the guy who was filming for me, you know, he's one of my training partners and students, I guess you could say. He said that he and the judge at the same time were like, "Ooh," when I did that, you know, like I'm apparently I'm not that bad, but why would I ever under any circumstances want to do that? You're not even fat, dude. I am almost 380. Jeez, never mind. I am almost 280 pounds. I let myself go like crazy, especially this, like, yo, dude, I'm gonna just eat whatever I feel like. There was like a month and a half, 2 month period where I was just like, whatever, bro. Dude, fuck it. I'm eating whatever I want, you know? No diet, no nothing. And then in addition to that, I haven't worked out like properly for a long time, you know? I really let myself go. Even more than like when I was on Fish Tank. You know, I was like 230, maybe 240 on Fish Tank. I've put on, again, another like 40 to 50 pounds since then. That is no good, you know? I get tired walking upstairs now. I'm like not in good shape. My health is not good, you know? And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this Naga tournament is because I'm like, yo, I need something to get ready for, and it kind of reminded me that like there's more to life than just like going to a gym that is not good for me, you know? So after this tournament, I'm probably going to start a couple of times a week going to get some no-gi grappling in at a couple other gyms that are around. That way, at the very least, I get a couple of good workouts every week. And then I'll see what I can do in addition to that, you know, like in the meantime, when I can't go to those gyms, you know, hit the bag after class or whatever. Excuse me. You know, I got diet figured out, so it's all good, you know. Scott Boogie 2988 Sullivan, dude, just about. Where's Frank at? Where's Frank at? I gotta fucking. Anyway, being thick is in right now. It's okay. I don't feel like it's okay. I feel like I need to lose weight, dude. You know. Scott, did you ever talk with AB behind the scenes? Nah. Not really. You know. I'm trying to remember if I ever did. Why do you ask, Quirt? Is AB really a girl? Is AB really a girl? I never knew that. You know, I know the Fish Tank Digest. You know, the narrator is a man, but like, if AB is a girl, did she hire a guy? Did she use AI? Did she use like a voice changer or something like that? I'm curious. But yeah, I'm curious why you're asking me that, Quirt, because that was a strange question. I haven't heard AB's name in a long time. I'm staying out of Fish Tank related stuff for the most part, you know. just trying to live my life. So anything going on, for one thing, I was never really that in tune with like things that were going on in the fan base, you know. I was never in tune with that in the first place, but now I'm just trying to like, you know, I'm just trying to live my life and just do my thing, you know. You don't look fat though. Well, I appreciate that, Flota. Thank you. You know, I wear weight well, but well, I wear weight well enough, I guess. You know, I wear the weight well enough in the face, at least. In the face, I guess you could say. You know? Man. She was freaking out at REA over some Stream Stars drama. The digest voice over is AI of a known voice actor. Ah, I had no idea. Oh man. What was she freaking out at REA for, you know? And you see that's like I learned not to pay attention to people in the periphery. Not to talk down about AB or anything like that. I don't have any issues with her at all, but like I learned not to pay attention to people in the periphery when I started finding people being weird, you know, people who like they'd come in here and they'd be like, "Aha, hey Scott, good to see you. Hey, haha." But then like I pop into Discord and all of a sudden like that same person is like, "Dude, Scott fucking sucks, dude." It's like, all right, that's weird. That's why I don't hang out in any of the Discord channels. I just shill my shit in there every once in a while, but I don't talk to them, you know, because I don't know who I could actually trust to not be like weird, you know. I appreciate you guys coming here and watching. You know, by the way, what's going on, Blitz Comet? I appreciate you guys, you know, coming here and watching and stuff like that, you know. I don't know how many of you hang out in the Discord servers or in any other fish tank places, you know. I would assume at least a couple of you are from 4chan, probably, you know. If so, hello. Hello 4chan. But yeah, like fucking whatever, you know. The what was I gonna say? The subreddit doesn't talk about me, and when somebody does, it's always some freak who's like mad that I exist, you know. Um, but yeah, seemed like she was upset over REA disrespecting the crew on Schoolhouse or something like that. Oh yeah, you know, I popped into that briefly, and by briefly I mean for like 5 minutes or so. You know, I've been so busy with you know other stuff. Um, you know, I was supposed to have Aria on a Jeopardy stream. I keep saying I'm gonna organize that Jeopardy stream. Um, you know, and I just don't get around to it. But after this weekend, I should be pretty open, you know, and I'll see about trying to organize that. But Aria is going to be one of the people, hopefully. I got a couple other people who said yes, that it'll be cool to have them on, you know, and hopefully we'll have a fun time. We'll have a grand old time. Joe Buttslash says Fish Tank is dead. I hope not. You know, I think Fish Tank was a great idea. It is a great idea, and they just need to get serious about it. You know, they can't run it like it's a novel thing anymore. You know, it's kind of like what Sam said during the announcement that season 4 was over and done with. Excuse me, geez. It's kind of like what Sam said. Like they can't be running it like it's just like not like a big deal. You know, it's a known quantity. You know, you can look it up on the internet. There's no like, what the hell is this thing? What can we do about it? Like people have had a couple of years to formulate strategies on how to fuck with them. You know, both people from local governments as well as people who just enjoy seeing chaos and they want to see things burn and stuff like that, you know. So they need to form a wall, you know. They need to fix it up, you know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll come back, you know. I don't know if I'll watch season 5, you know. truth be told, like, unless I'm involved in it, I think I'm at a point where, like, I got to stop paying attention to online shit. I mean, I'm going to be 31 in not even 5 days, like what, 3, 4 days. I think it's about time I start being a 31-year-old. I think it's about time I start being an unk and just embrace that. And like I said, just, go to work, come home, hang out, and just try my best to enjoy life, just live easy. And that is one thing that was stressful for a couple of years. I'm not gonna lie. Is like, being a part of Fish Tank is like, fuck. Am I gonna get called back? Are they going to are they gonna do this thing? Are they gonna do that thing? What does the audience think about me? How can I try and maximize the amount of eyes I have on me so that maybe I can be an e-boy or something like that? I can make a little bit of money off of this, which I've made a little bit of money off of it. Nothing life changing, but it's a chunk of change that is definitely going to help me. I will say, with some of the plans that I have coming up, it definitely will help. Not my real name says it's lost the novelty, in all honesty. Well, you see, like, the novelty, in my opinion, I mean, the novelty, obviously, like the concept was novel, and it's not novel anymore. You are correct about that. But part of the novelty of it is the new cast every season, just seeing those new people. That was one of the things that I really looked forward to with each season, was like, hey, who are these people going to be, who are these people going to be, and like, how are they going to react, and am I going to like them, and am I going to hate them? Are there going to be people, like, if I do get called in, am I going to vibe well with this person or that person or whatever? I think either the season 3 crew, the season 3 cast, I mean, would have liked me, or they would have hated me. I would have walked in, I would have been sarcastic, and they probably either would have liked me or they would have hated me, unless I played that character that I created in anticipation. That would be different. But if I just walked in and I was just like Scott, the fucking boxing guy, it's like they may have liked me, they may have hated me. It wouldn't surprise me if they hated me, because a lot of people can't handle the Boston, is the thing. I'm not even the most Boston guy you've ever seen. I'm actually, like, pretty polite. I'm pretty nice and well-meaning and courteous for a Boston guy, But like, if you see the average Boston guy, you'd be like, wow, Scott's actually a really cool dude compared to this fucking asshole. Fuck this guy, Can you tease if any of the Jeopardy players will be from Bitch Tank? Potentially. It's been a while since I've talked to some of these people about being on a Jeopardy stream, so I don't know if they're still down. But but potentially one of them would be from Bitch Tank if she's still down for it. Excuse me. I think season 3 was made for you because they were all vapid retards. Missed opportunity. Yeah, that would have been nice. I'm very like, I don't gel well with normie narcissists. I don't gel well with, like, wannabe famous normies and stuff like that. I don't gel well with a lot of different kinds of people, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not really a people person, but especially not people like that. And it would have been hard for me to keep my mouth shut. Like, that's part of the reason why me and Letty had a bit of a beef, is because I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut when some bullshit flies out of someone's mouth. And if we're being honest here, Letty's got that personality that I kind of have a hard time not being like, shut up, too, No offense to Letty or anything like that. I'm not, like, trying to talk shit. It's just different personalities, I could be around her again. I could talk to her again, But, like, with those season 3 people, yeah, it might have been a situation where they were just like, wow, this guy's mean, I hate him. The South is really, really polite compared to places like Michigan or Wisconsin. I can imagine Boston would be sassy too. Boston is like, you can't get away with anything. There's always someone trying to fuck with you all the time. And no matter what you say, there's always some kind of fucking, like, what are you, fucking gay? Like that kind of shit. Bill Burr is like he's like the extreme middle tier. Like when it comes to someone like Bill Burr, he's like in the middle but on the extreme end of Boston guy. Me, I'm like on the weak end of Boston guy. Like I'm not that bad, but I'm still kind of bad if we're being honest here, you know? Excuse me. But if you see Bill Burr, like, he doesn't let anyone get away with anything. It's just constantly like, what the fuck are you doing? No, you idiot. Like, that's just what he brings to every interaction that he has ever fucking had. That's just the way we are. We are the worst people to try and talk to because we are just constantly trying to dig at each other, you know? And I honestly kind of hate it. You know, I'm a sensitive young man. I'm just a sensitive young man, all right? I've never liked that whole like I always got to be on guard shit because my friend, this guy that I call my friend might call me gay for something. You know, not even like funny, like jokey, like ah ha ha ho, funny joke. Anyway, we're boys. I love you, kid. Not even like that. Like straight up, like the type of shit where you're just like, I don't ever want to see this guy again. You know. And then he calls you the next day, and you're like, oh, it's Timmy. Yeah, yo, Timmy, what's up? You know, like that type of shit. Sensitive young unk. That's what I am. I'm a sensitive young unk. You will address her as Mistress Letty or Lady Letty. Scott, know your place. Oh boy. Man. The novelty was entirely Scott's presence. Now that it's gone, it's over. Now that he's gone, it's over. Well, they did say no Scott, no fish tank, and you know, the only 2 seasons I was not involved in. I don't know. Maintenance workers in my apartment complex look at me like I'm insane when I ask if they would like some water or a sandwich. It's just normal for me. Yeah, like I would feel the same way. I'm distrustful of people. When if somebody was to offer me water or a sandwich and I'm just working, I'd be like, what's this guy's angle? What does he want? What did he do with that? Like what's in that? What's in this? Like that's a glass of water this guy just offered me. What did he put in it? What is going on here? Am I about to get bundied? Am I not bundied? Dahmered? What's going on here? Like people don't do that type of shit around here. We leave each other alone and we want to be left alone. That's one of the fucking most annoying things is that like everybody in Boston, everybody in Massachusetts, they want to be left alone by everybody else, but they want everybody else to be small so that they can be big, you know? And that's the worst fucking thing about Massachusetts people is they want you to shrink so that they can expand. And it's just like shut the fuck up, you know? I can't stand people who they have to make noise, they have to draw attention to themselves in a narcissistic way whenever they walk into a room, you know? Somebody can't just walk into it happens in my work all the time. I'll be doing something and like it's the same like 4 or 5 people that will always do it. They'll walk in the room, they can't just be in there and they can't even just be like what's up and then like go about their day and stuff like that. They got to walk in and be like, what am I looking for in here? Like they have shrill voices, the kind of voices you can't tune out. They pierce your skin. And they always have to be fucking talking way too loud, and it's always like they're asking you a question that you can't answer. So it's just like, yo, stop trying to take up my attention. Get your shit and get out of my fucking face. If I could, I would throw bricks at you. it's like that. Like legit. That's how I feel being in Boston because everybody's a fucking asshole all the time. Even when they're being nice, it's like a niceness that is like draining you of some kind of energy. And it's like, get out of here. Yankee shit. I don't know if I'd call it Yankee shit because Yankee is that's northerner in general, you know. That's like Indiana, Ohio. That's You know, that's shit like that. Maryland, technically, I guess you would be a Yankee, you know. Um, um, Pennsylvania, you know. It's just like, holy fuck, man. You know, holy fuck. Man. But yeah, I hope we get news about Fish Tank soon. You know, I would love to come back for blood games, but other than that, like I gotta be honest with you, I'm not like that tuned in. I'm not that dialed in. It's like I mentioned it the other day, like when the new guys are telling you that they can't tell you what's going on, it kind of puts a bit of a bad taste in your mouth, and you're just like, all right, fucking whatever, bro. Like, good luck, do your thing, you know. I'll keep doing my thing, and that thing won't be like paying attention and giving a fuck, you know. Not that I'm saying like I'm some kind of huge loss or anything like that, but it's just like whatever. You don't want me around, I don't want to be around. Then fine, fuck it, you know. Blood Games 2 is a different story. And if they hit me up and they were like, look, man, we want you as this for a season, it's like, all right, we can talk, but I'm not sitting here like excited for anything like I was for season 3 or season 4. I'm probably not going to be streaming for them regardless of what happens. I'm probably not going to be doing too much talking about it, you know. It just is what it is, you know. Fucking, it's like I said, I'm an unk. I got to be an unk. Unless I'm specifically invited, I'm not really gonna pay attention or care or comment like that, you know. I was lucky enough to supervise. Oh, geez, it's almost 11:30. Fuck, I was supposed to be out of here like almost 30 minutes ago. I'll read a couple more of these and then I'm gonna head out. Okay. I was lucky enough to supervise 3 Boston baby boomers at my previous job, and they always argued about every aspect of their work. Yeah, that's just what they do. That's what Bostonians do, you know? Always trying to dig at each other. It never ends, you know? And you're the weirdo if you're like, yo, dude, you want to fucking not keep doing that? It really brings everything and everyone down. You're really getting annoying. You're being shitty. Enough. Knock it off, you know? Fucking that's one thing I'm annoyed by is like the dirtbag left types as well as like the Gen X baby boomer, like the type of people who are still like, oh dude, fucking what are you, a snowflake? Because you don't want to constantly deal with some fucking pussy who's on TRT trying to act like he's the alpha. He's the alpha. He's so alpha he has to stick things in his butt to be alpha. That's how alpha he is. In order to feel and look alpha, he has to stick things in his ass. That's how alpha that guy is. And he's gonna let me know by being like, oh, "What's up, pussy?" It's like, get the fuck out of my face before I strangle you. It's shut up. You know. It's like holy shit, man. Holy shit. Ah, man. Sorry, just checking twatter real quick. Checking the twatter, you know. Um, but yeah, I should probably get out of here. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a good time tonight, and I'm glad I streamed. You know, very rarely am I ever like, dude, that was bad. But I feel like this was a good chill stream. I had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Okay, thank you all for being here, for real. Thank you so much. You know, I know I've been kind of having like an existential crisis when it comes to YouTube and stuff like that, and I'm trying to work through it. I apologize if I'm a little too public with that sometimes. It's just, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very honest about shit. Um, you know, but we're going to keep on doing it. You know, as long as we can. This Friday, I'm going to stream. The Saturday, I'm going to stream. Friday might be a Glover stream, or it might be something else. We'll see what happens. I've been meaning to do a call-in stream for a little while, and the only thing that stops me is that I always forget to get a, become a VTuber. That's a good idea, Joe. I always forget to get a phone number that people can call. I want to use like a Google number or some other kind of number that people can call in and have a quick conversation with me and stuff like that. But I keep forgetting to do that, and I keep forgetting to talk about it. So we'll do a call-in stream at some point in the future. I don't know about Friday, but I am trying to work towards that, just like the Jeopardy stream. Yeah, just thank you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you on Friday, but until next time, peace out.